putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
What's up, everybody? Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. Did you guys hear this? There's a Kickstarter campaign from some guy who wants to make superheroes out of Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Beavis and Butthead comes to mind. Seriously, superheroes, a Kickstarter campaign, they want to raise $100,000 to do a cartoon series, and you should see the pictures. You know, it's got Joe Biden with these really beautiful locks of hair, which of course is pretty ironic in itself, and Barack Obama looks all chiseled and cool. It is crazy, a Kickstarter campaign. Would you donate to it? How much money would you make? Do you think, how do you make Obama a superhero? Only a lunatic would even think about trying to make Obama a superhero. Seriously? Too funny. Man, what else we got? Hey, this is a funny story. As of right now, Kaepernick still can't get a job because he did what most leftists do, which is he didn't think his little thing through to the end. See, the left, they rarely think anything through to the end. So when Kaepernick took his knee during the national anthem, the playing of the national anthem in one of the 49ers games, he thought he was making a good career move, kind of like Nadal. You know, Maria Chappelle Nadal, she just knew that if she threatened to kill Trump, her career would soar. Marilyn Mosby, she thought if she sided with Black Lives Matter, it would be a career booster. Look, folks, Kathy Lee Griffin, what's her name, Kathy Griffin? She thought if she chopped off the head of Donald Trump like Al-Qaeda and held his head up, it would be a career booster. She would get a series, whatever. How many incidents do we have to show these leftists that they cannot be successful at before they go, you know what? I'm going to stop doing this nonsense. But they keep doing it. So Kaepernick, he took his knee thinking, oh, this is going to be, good things for us. Likely thought Hillary Clinton would be president and progressivism would still be flourishing. It wasn't. And he lived under the erroneous notion that America wasn't fed up with people like him. See, I'm convinced, and it's because of people like you, I'm convinced that America has sickened of those who disrespect the country. The very country that gave Kaepernick and all Americans like him our freedoms. So America spoke, and you spoke loud and clear. We made sure the NFL knew our feelings, and we stopped watching these high-paid babies make their fake narrative political statements. And so Kaepernick now, he's looking for a job. He's like, I need a gig. I want to, please. And America is continuing to speak on this subject saying, no, no, no. And the fact that Colin Kaepernick doesn't have an NFL job is now getting the Occupy, the Black Lives Matter movement, and maybe even the Al Sharpton treatment. They called a rally for this guy. It's coming up tomorrow at the NFL's New York headquarters by unknown organizers who don't know that Kaepernick's name had more than one E in it. They misspelled his name because it's Kaeper. They spelled it Ka. The fools that put this together can't even spell this moron's name. But anyway, they put this thing together and they don't know, they can't figure out who's the organizer. Spike Lee is in support of it. He's been very vocal. Why can't this fool get a job? I need to give Kaepernick a job. But when it came to who owns the rally, he backed off. Yeah, the Justice League NYC People's Consortium and a group called Empowerment Movement are three groups. There's the Justice League NYC People's Consortium and the Empowerment Movement. They're the ones on the flyer calling for the rally, but they don't know who the coordinator is. Yeah. Nobody wants to claim it. Spike Lee. He kind of reminds me of a fly. I think that's why I was thinking of flip. But Spike Lee tweeted that, hey, I'm down for it, but he's like, I don't know who the organizer is because he doesn't really want to be associated with it. Now I say that, I've said it twice now because I want to be very clear. Spike Lee wants to be down for the cause, but he's not going to be the organizer. And here's what's funny about it. Spike Lee, since when has Spike Lee or anybody else had such and we talked about this before, had such an interest in some young black dude's career that wasn't involving film? Football is a meritocracy. Michael Vick fought dogs. And when he got out, people needed a quarterback, and they were like, shoot, I don't care if he fought dogs. We're going to hire him. Now, his career ended up not being that big of a deal anyway, because Michael Vick, as good of an athlete that he was, he couldn't put that athleticism and funnel it into the right stuff. I mean, talk about a guy with a gun of an arm who could run like the wind. And then you get a guy like Brady, who's very stationary, not very fast, good arm. Brady would just thread the needle. So, but there were teams that wanted Michael Vick. When he got out of prison, there were teams lining up for him. Kaepernick, you guys probably know football better than I do. I don't follow the sport anymore. I don't watch the NFL for the reasons I told you guys. But Kaepernick, he's out, doing his thing, and quite honestly, nobody wants him. I mean, it couldn't be athleticism. I think he's probably a decent. When I watch highlights of the games, and he hasn't played in a while, but at one point I thought this guy was a good quarterback. And I think that maybe he got too full of himself. I don't know when it occurred, but he's no longer the guy that I remember seeing thinking, wow, look at this young brother, out there doing it. Not anymore. Anyway, Spike Lee doesn't care about any other football player except the one who disrespects America. That strikes me as odd. I defy anybody to show me where Lee fought so hard for a football player. He cries racism when he could just as easily cry Americanism. See, Lee claims racism in a sport dominated by black players. I think I gave you guys these statistics a while back. Black players outnumber white players in the NFL by more than 2-1. 68.7% of the players in the NFL are black. 28.6% of the players in the NFL are white. Now, white people outnumber black people 3-1, but black people outnumber white people 2-1 in the NFL, plus 2-1 plus. So when you think about that, it's a 6-1 disparity in terms of ratios, and nobody cries foul in the NFL, and I don't want them to. I want the best athletes. I don't care what color they are. Give me the best athletes. So Lee wants you to believe the sport is racist because Colin Kaepernick can't get a job. The sport has to be racist. In other words, a race representing 13% of the population has almost 69% of the NFL, which is 5 times the population of blacks, and that's racist. Yet many idiots on the left dare cry racism when Kaepernick pulls his un-American stunt. It wasn't a racist stunt. It was an un-American stunt. And this is why I tell people, don't take the left seriously. Don't take Spike Lee seriously. He's not. If Spike Lee were being genuine, he would say to you, look, I don't think you should blackball this kid because he made a mistake or whatever. I could get that. But when you try to cry racism, they don't want Kaepernick because he's black. And 69%, almost 69% of the NFL is black, with 13% of the population being black. You become a clown. You're a buffoon. And Lee goes on to ask, why doesn't anybody want Kaepernick? He tweeted it. And to answer his question, no employer wants a troublemaker. NFL owners don't have social justice warriors. They don't hire them. They hire athletes. And the smart athletes keep their mouths shut and they play the game. They get out there and they do what they're asked to do. End of story. But not Kaepernick. And what was funny, a Fox News Sports 1 host, Jason Whitlock, told Fox News that he says the rally for Kaepernick isn't for justice. He commented, Kaepernick's tried a shakedown of NFL owners. He says this is moving into a land an area that I don't think we've ever seen in sports. This invasion of progressive ideology and the progressive movement into the NFL and sports. He says this to me is starting to smell like a shakedown of the NFL and the NFL ownership. And he went on to say that Kaepernick's fake news narrative reminded him of Tawanna Brawley. I died laughing when I saw that, but he's 100% right. I'm going to have to leave it there, folks. Listen to the Kevin Jackson Show.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.